some speakers. So we were fortunate enough to do this at our last seminar. I hope you found some value in what I shared. And it's also nothing more powerful than a testimonial. So we're going to ask Josh to come up. Okay, Josh, from Final Touch Construction and Remodeling, and he's going to share his experience with marketplace events. I think this might be on for you. Yeah.
So how many people here are going to be at the big show as well? Awesome. A big thing that I think, coming to this is that all the ladies that are involved have always put everything they have into it. Obviously, with the breakfast, they really kind of go out of their way with it, and they've always made sure that the shows are successful. We started out in a tiny booth at the Home and Garden Show 5 years ago, and I'll tell you, every year it just kind of gets bigger and bigger. I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed the same thing. What we're looking at doing this year, actually, with both shows, is the unique opportunity to take people that are real tentative at the big show, and then now they kind of have an idea they didn't think about, or they're maybe moving in the direction to actually have a project done. Now we have the opportunity to say, okay, well, you're not ready to do this now, but talk with your husband, get kind of the idea what you want to do, and come back and see us at the show in a month. We're looking at handing out a coupon possibly. I know working with Gene and a couple of the other guys here about possibly doing a discounted ticket for people that have come to the other show to, hey, come back and see us at this show as well, directly for you guys. So I know that's going to be a big thing that we'll look to do as well. But I have a lot of faith that the ladies that are involved here, and I know personally that every year we get a bigger booth, every year we spend more money on designing the booth, every year we make more money at the show, obviously, which is why we continue to spend more money at the show, it's a vicious circle. It's a very vicious circle, but it's a good circle to have. So, that's been our experiences with it, and I hope you guys all have the same success.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. He nailed it. He nailed it with the second show in the month. There are going to be conversations where they're like, oh, I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger. Gather the information, get them a coupon or complimentary tickets to the second show. Now you've got 2 times to form that relationship, right? That's pretty cool. All right, next we've got Tony Fabric with Extend Technologies.
How's everyone doing this morning? Well, I'd like to just say that I've worked with everyone from Marketplace Events now for about 4 years, and every year I seem to get more and more involved in the shows. Everything from building dream basements to expanding the size of our booth. And the one thing that I'd like to point out has more to do with just marketing. My background is in marketing, and I can tell you that this group of people, they put together great shows. They spend a lot of time driving people to these shows that are qualified. What I found in marketing today is there's a lot of ways to reach people, but in the last probably 10 years since I started my business, everything seems to get more and more diluted. So you have online marketing, social media, newspaper, print, television, radio, and you get bombarded with calls. I get them all the time, all kinds of telemarketers calling me and say, well, sign up for this, do that. And it's great. You can spend a lot of money in all these different mediums, but the reality is, how many people do those different mediums drive to your retail locations? How many leads do they drive to you where you can actually get business? Very small numbers. You might get, if you're lucky, 0.03% of a return on any investment you have in terms of the market reach of a particular venue. What these events do, that Marketplace Events puts on, is it drives qualified leads directly to you. They bring people to you where you can actually engage people, generate leads for your company, and turn it into business. Nowhere can you, I have a nice showroom. I built it out probably about 8 years ago. We spent a lot of money on our showroom, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But in any given weekend, I'm lucky if I get 10 people into my showroom. I can get 25,000, or in the case of their bigger show, 100,000+ people in one weekend. And the reality is, you can't get that anywhere else. So when you come to get involved in one of these shows, realize that as long as you're engaging people at that show, if you pull a few quality leads out of that show, that will turn into business for you. And over time, the more and more you do the shows, you'll hear people say, "Oh, I saw you at this show." You may not hear from them for 2 years after they see you at a show, but they'll remember you from that show. And that's really the key. I suggest getting involved because you will see a return on your investment, and probably better than any of your other marketing methods.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks.
What Tony really brought home there was, and I like to say and I didn't, so thank you, it's not one and done, okay? This is a long-term business strategy to be at the show year after year after year, because that's the stuff that's hard to measure, but it's fun to measure, the long-term buyers, the repeat customers. And next, we're going to finish up with Tom with underground construction.
Morning. Our experience is a little bit different than all the other guys. Last year was our first show. Excuse me. Last year was our first show, and before the show, over the years, we spent a lot of money. We just threw it at Google, we threw it at this, we threw it at that. And Reese Purdue actually gave us a call and said, "Why don't you try a home show?" With our product, we don't have a showroom. We're dealing with sewer repair. We're dealing with customers' problems or headaches in the middle of the night, this, that, and the other thing. And we're like, well, what the heck, we'll give it a shot. We'll see what we can bring out of it. Our goals, we were hoping, maybe just hit like 0.5% of what would come through the show. And we did the show. We had a very simple booth, as you can see. Very small, 10 by 10. It was just staffed by me and my wife, actually. And we took about 400 good sales off of it. 400 good sales. We had an excellent year. Our sales were up 80% last year. And since then, just in a matter of the last week, the kinds of people that come through that show is actually kind of interesting. I met an engineer at the last hour on a Thursday evening. It was actually really nasty out. There wasn't nobody coming through the show for the first 6 hours with a blizzard. And the guy took a business card, and we actually landed a sizable project right in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a 2-month project, which not only more than paid for the show, it kept keeping our guys busy through most of the winter. So, but as for the show, we're definitely doing it again. And it is what you make of it. It is long hours standing out there, and sometimes you just feel like going home because you've been standing there for 12 hours. But you get to meet some really great people. You get hands-on with the customers, and we're actually seeing our second wind, not only from the customers that we service this year, but we're starting to see a lot of the referrals coming off of it. So we've been really tracking it, and I would like to say it was a good, solid show. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And wow, we didn't even plant that. But Thursday, the last hour of the show, business card Pittsburgh, big deal, right? Reese, you want to share something?
No, I want to make Tom share something that I made you talk about last time, is that a lot of times when you guys get involved in these events, you're thinking consumer. But Tom had another experience at the show that not only are these consumers business owners and contractors, they come to the show for a variety of reasons. And so when we talk about exhibitor, doing business with one another, Tom actually has been asked to speak at a couple different associations, and in turn from that has brought in a ton more business that he wasn't even expecting to see. But you have to realize these consumers come for a variety of reasons, and it's worth being there. And I know Tom took a lot from going to some of those associations.
Yeah, that's a good point, because a lot of our visitors are wearing 2 hats. They're homeowners and they're business owners or big shots, or
A lot of engineers.
A lot of engineers, you said. So thanks. And feel free